this is my first year. I am a newbie to DAST, and I've learned so much about performing in general, nothing that I've been taught in a classroom, and I don't think you can be taught that in a classroom unless you're performing a show like this in an environment like this.
I've learned how to be a good actor, how to listen. That's the main thing he's taught us. He's taught us how to listen, how to follow direction really well, because directors like it when you follow direction, you follow it to the T. Yeah, I've learned from a lot of great actors and actresses. They know what they're doing. They're up there and they're performing, and they're them. They know what they're doing. It helps me become a better actor.
Okay. With Delaware All-State Theater, I have learned to really sculpt myself as an actor and pull the best out of myself. And with DAS, I really focus more on music and my lines and everything. And I learned to really put everything together, not like I did in other musicals, I would just focus on one thing and then ignore the other. But with DAS, I really learned to focus on both and put my best into both instead of just putting my best into one or the other. So that's what
working on this particular production company, you get the exposure to several great things that you may not get at other local theater companies, like one-to-one training with professionals that we get very frequently. Going to New York last year with West Side Story, I actually got to meet the man Michael Mastro who played my part in the West Side Story production. The part of Gladham, which was very special to me because I got to talk to him, and he plays the same part that I would be playing in June on Broadway, and I don't think that I would ever get that opportunity with any other local production company.
I've learned so much. This is my first Delaware All-State Theater show, and I've learned stuff behind the scenes wise and on stage wise. I've learned a lot of teamwork stuff. Just when we did our brown bag thing, we went to New York, we did a lot of workshops and stuff, and there was a lot of teamwork stuff that we had to do, and every time you're in a show you're kind of like a family kind of thing, but this is a really good example of that, and everybody has to work together to put on the best show we can put on. So.
I know I've learned a lot more about acting and getting rid of any blockage or roadblocks or any boxes I'm in. I've just learned to just throw it all out and just be a character and commit to it and not be afraid to just go all out on stage. And I've learned more about singing because I have a very hard song and it's difficult to learn to breathe right so I can hit the right notes, so I'm learning more about vocal exercises as I go through.
I think I've learned in my experience in Delaware All-State Theater that a show is a lot more than just the sum of its parts, because last year I was in West Side Story and I didn't have a big part at all, but it was probably the most fun I've ever had in my life. I made my best friends I would ever have in West Side Story, and because we don't go to any of the same schools, I would have never met them without Delaware All-State Theater. And it was so much fun. I have the best memories from that show ever, and because I have such good memories from that show, I can only thank Delaware All-State Theater. And now I realize, and I have a big part now, but it's still the same sort of feeling of community. You know, if one person's missing, it's not the same, and you can become such good friends with your castmates. And I think more than just putting on a show or learning more about acting, it's about making friendships that last forever.